For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kathy Nelson. I'm the CEO and founder of the Photo Managers, and we love partnering with different companies who are providing solutions to the consumer or the professionals who are completely overwhelmed with their photos. So I'm sure if I could see a raise of hands, if I asked you how you felt, if you had way more photos than you did 15 years ago, I'm sure you're all going to raise your hand and say yes. So I'm really excited to introduce you to Mylio, and Richard is going to take you through a presentation. And we'll let Richard take it from here.
Excellent. Well, first off, thank you guys for coming out this morning. In many ways, I faced the exact same challenges all of you face when it comes to working with your photos. While I've worked on photo software for many years, I was also started my career as a journalism student, and I've been blogging for years. I'm a parent. I help keep my own family's history organized. I was a history minor and have studied history for all of my life and a passionate fan of it. So while I know a lot about photography and software, I also just face the same challenges as everyone else. And I discovered Mylio about 2 years ago, just before I joined the team. I'd started to play with it. And my job is to serve as the lead of product. So I talk to people on a normal basis, come up with what we're going to do with the product. For example, right now we're super excited as we're finishing up, just outlining all the new things that'll be coming next year. And I can't go into all of those, but I can tell you that change is great. And we keep adding more and more things that are helpful to people. And that's been a big focus. What Mylio Photos does can be perceived as complex because it does offer a lot of things to it. But it also can be easy because it is, once you've got it set up, it just runs. So we've got a lot of resources, and I'm going to kind of walk you through what Mylio Photos does, as well as show you some things today. And then I want to just pass on that everybody who gets set up with Mylio Photos, that we have personalized onboarding help. We have additional webinars, a community, a getting started page with videos, and a complete user manual. So anytime you want to talk about, oh, let's take all of our devices and connect them together and have it be perfect, sometimes people have questions, and that's okay because we tackle and do some really cool things. So we're going to cover today some stuff that I think you'll find useful. We're talking about Mylio Photos. And this is an application and a service that takes all your devices and makes them work together. So we're going to walk you through what is Mylio Photos, how you create your account, and how you get set up. We do have a free plan that lets you take 5,000 of your photos and your devices and try out our service for free, and it will keep working. And then we also have plans available that are, we like to think, very reasonable and are priced for consumers. We are designed so that we are affordable and accessible to just about everyone who's passionate on this. So we'll walk you through all the key things of what it can do. As I said, my name is Richard Harrington. I'm a member of the product team. I'm also a photographer. I'm really passionate about shooting landscapes. I've studied history for most of my life and was a journalism student. And I like to help people learn about photography. So through the years, I've written about 40 books on photography and video, including books on iWork and iLife and Aperture for Apple, and other tools from Adobe through the years, and just general things about helping people tell stories with photography. So thank you guys for joining us. And again, feel free to use the chat pod to put in any questions in. We'll do our best to tackle them. And if not, we'll follow up with you afterwards. And I mentioned there was a lot of resources. We'll put this up at the end. But if you have your smartphone or you want to take a screenshot, and we'll also put these links later into the chat today, these are all the things we have to make it easy to get helped. So right in our help menu is a link to everything, but we have a manual. It's in depth. It's totally searchable. We have a community where people interact with each other. We have a full-length hands-on video course. And we have a place where you can go to get support and ask questions and talk to real people. So we try really hard to make this as easy as possible so that it's not stressful, because nothing feels worse than going, okay, I'm going to start to take all the things I care so much about and move them around and make changes and improve them. The easiest thing to do with a computer file is to just take all your photos and scan them on a hard drive and leave it on a sitting on a shelf somewhere. And you think that's safe because you put it on a hard drive. Now, I am going to tell you something that a lot of people don't know, which is if your photos are on one hard drive, you're not protected. a hard drive is kind of like a tire for a car. It is guaranteed to fail at some point in time, no matter what you do. If you left that car just sitting there, a tire is going to eventually rot and fail. If you're driving down the highway, it fails. If you're a race car driver, it fails. Hard drives will fail. Now, some of you are like, okay, well, now he's going to tell us to put everything in the cloud. Nope. Mylio is cloud independent. You can use the cloud if you want. You can bring your own cloud, but we don't make you use the cloud. We're a very privately focused. Someone's trying to control my screen. Not going to let you do that. We're a very privacy focused company and let you keep all of your devices in sync, and we don't see them, nor do we ask you to put it where other people can see it. So we really know that these are precious memories and we put you in control. But if you want to use the cloud, you can. You bring your own. It's optional, but we don't require it. And in fact, Mylio can run 100% offline. Now, I want to show you that for a second so you understand what that really means. So I mentioned earlier that I'm getting ready to travel. And I'm going to be hopping on an airplane just a little bit later today. Let me go ahead and share this, and hopefully this will work well. Yes, I'm going to allow you to see my screen. And there it is. Okay, so if you can see the video, this is my iPad, and this is it. I'm sharing the screen from my iPad for a second. I'm going to swipe down here and go to airplane mode, okay, and make sure that Wi-Fi is off. And we'll turn Bluetooth off while we're at it as well. Okay, so now I'm on my laptop. And Mylio works with laptops and desktops, all of your devices, okay? And what I'm able to do is literally see all of my photos. So I have about coming up on 450,000 pictures in my photo library through the years, and I'm scanning and loading in more. I could have pictures from recent things like a trip I took with my son to Las Vegas, and I can have family memories, all of these, my cell phone, folders. I just want to point out that what I have here is years worth of photos, and I can grab that and start to move around, and all of these pictures are on my device. Okay, everything's here, but everything is also organized in the exact folders that I like to organize my things in. So here's a trip to Costa Rica I'm getting organized. Here's everything I brought in from Aperture, a photo program I used to use. Here's my main photo library on my hard drive at home. And I've got professional and personal photos all mixed together, like my daughter's Eagle Scout ceremony. Very proud of her. My son, as he went off to college this year. I can see all these things. And these are all folders that map to real folders on my hard drive at home. Okay, so everything is here and perfectly organized. And just look at the speed of which I can move through this. Again, none of this is on the cloud. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's fine, but you can't really do anything with it if you're not connected to the internet. But you can, because with Mylio, everything is actually still editable. So if you realize that the picture is a little bit bright or a little bit dark, we give you editing tools like other programs you probably used, but we also give you great auto buttons. So with one click, you can make a change and fix things. Or if you realize you need to recover the exposure a little bit. So what Mylio is able to do is if you have raw photos, it makes a version that's 1/20th the size of the original for all your mobile devices. And this lets you fit hundreds of photos on your phone or your tablet or your laptop so you can work on the go. So my laptop and my iPad here have almost 500,000 photos. And I've got hours of video to watch on the plane. I just finished the new Willow series, and I've got some other stuff downloaded that I want to watch. And I've got my whole music library and everything else I want on my iPad. And I still have plenty of room. And everything is also searchable, usable. And so when you want to, you could take your entire photo library, and we're actually going to be improving this feature later this year with a much more graphical interface, and even the ability to do things like say, only show me the pictures where people are smiling or hide the blurry photos, using some intelligent photo analysis to make it quicker. But watch, I could say, oh, you know what? I just want to see, and I'm going to add some people here. So go ahead and filter by person and show me pictures of my daughter. And also show me pictures of my son and my wife and me. And you could do that. So let's just do my son and daughter. And then I'll say a date range here. Let's do all of last year. And now when I go to my all photos view, I'm just seeing pictures from last year, the trips we took as a family, my son's high school graduation. Again, look at how fun and easy it is to work right on an iPad offline. For those of you who don't have an iPad or a phone or a tablet, it's also Android, it's also desktop, it's all of that. But do you know how much fun it is to actually occasionally see sunlight or work on your pictures while drinking a cup of coffee that's not connected to the computer in the family lounge or in the basement, to be able to go outside or sit and breathe fresh air and still look at your pictures or share them with other people? So there's everything from last year, things we got to do as a family, events, seeing people, Mother's Day, all of those different things we've done. Oh, look, there's some scanned photos in here too. So in this case, this is me. And this is definitely not from last year. And, I have the ability to actually tag people in photos and say who's who and actually assign tags. We'll talk about that more in a moment. But what's really cool here is that you can actually find all of those pictures and organize them. So let me add one more person here. This time I'm going to add me to this list so that I see all the pictures that I'm in, as well as my kids. And later on, you can actually do cool things like this person and this person, or this person, but not this person. Now, you see another scanned photo. This time, let me open this one up. I'm looking at this one here and, oh, it's a little shiny there, but I think I actually remember this. I'm going to say that this was 4th grade and that's me. Okay. This was not last year. Why does it say that this was last year? Because I scanned this last year. Well, that's kind of useless, right? Like if you're trying to organize your pictures, what good is the scan date? So we give you full control. I'm going to go under the info here. And instead of dating this February 18th, 2022, I'm going to date it with something that's a little more accurate. So we give you full control. You can decide if you're tagging this picture with a date range or a specific day, a month and a year, all seasons, or a decade. Well, this was 5th grade. And so I'm going to quickly do some math, think this one through, and I'm going to go that this was 1982 for me. Now, that's an approximation. I feel pretty good with that. It was a long time ago. I have a lot more hair. I still had glasses, so, but I know it's me, and I recognize some of my friends here. So I'm going to assign a year to this photo. And I'm just going to say, I know that this was 1982. Now, you could actually be more specific and assign a season or a month or approximate date, but you don't have to go in and assign down to the actual exact amount. So now if I say that this was 1982, when I go to things like my calendar view, let's go ahead and clear out our search here. When I go to my calendar and I see all of my pictures laid out as a calendar, it's going to update. And I will see pictures organized by date or month or year, right? So here I'm seeing a regular sort of calendar, March 2022. Let's go up a level here. Oh, now I'm seeing all of 2022, right? And notice how easy it is to just navigate through time. There's 2015, right? I can go back 2013, 2010. So I can move through my calendars, right? And there's 1982. And it wasn't sure when it was in 1982, so it assigned it to the grid. But if I had said that that was a back to school photo, so it was probably taken in October, it would appear in the month of October. And so when I'm browsing, it shows up that way. Now we've got lots more to cover, but I want to make sure that we take a second, if there's questions, to answer a few, and then I'm going to go in and explore a little bit more. But what's cool about Mylio is with Mylio Photos, you can visualize your life on a calendar. You can see all your pictures on a map. And even if they weren't geotagged, you can assign them. So you can start to revisit trips, places you've been. You can see all your people and organize by person with intelligent face tagging. And of course, you can make albums for things you want to share. So for example, I put together, a simple cull down of our holiday letter and found the best pictures that I wanted. And then I trimmed that down and got rid of the ones I didn't want to show, just getting to the best. And you can see how easy it is to find that. And of course, all the folders on all your devices. So we're going to break this concept down in a second. But again, this was my iPad working offline. And I'm going to stop and reshare and switch back to my computer for a moment. And I want you to notice that my computer has done the exact same thing. Everything stayed in sync. So if I were to go to my calendar and scroll on over and take a look at those dates and go back to my life in 1982, I'm going to actually see that there's pictures in there. And as I've organized these, they'll start to appear. Now, it's important. You remember I had my laptop in airplane mode. Well, all that work I did on it couldn't actually do anything yet because it was in airplane mode. But when I get out of airplane mode or I connect back to the internet and I'm back online, what happens is Mylio connects and everything will start to sync. And it's going to pick up and learn, and it will bring in that information and say, oh, okay, you put some pictures in 1982 and this square will update. So it's really cool that Mylio is able to keep everything in sync across all of those devices. And so it'll start to connect and pull that down because all of your devices can be connected into one network. Okay, let's take a couple questions and then I want to show you more and explain what this does. Remember, just put your questions into the chat. We're happy to take them. Okay.
All right.
So
Isabel,
let me see what you guys have.
Oh, let's see. I think Isabel, she might be, your team is answering quite a few questions as we go along, but Isabel, do you see anything in there that hasn't been answered yet?
There are some that haven't been answered, but I was going to go through and just mention some of the ones that I think stood out to me, even though they were answered in the chat for those that are watching the recording. So can you use Mylio to clean up your iPhone photos so that you don't have so much junk on it?
Yes, we'll talk about our review and cleanup tools, but absolutely, you have the ability to import from your camera roll and then free up space if you want to, or you can use Mylio Photos to really narrow things down and get rid of bad pictures. We've got a wealth of tools for cleanup, including the ability to remove true duplicates, declutter by looking at similar photos. We'll talk about that. We've got a bunch of quick review modes so you can go through and use simple gestures to choose your best pictures. And I saw another one in there about, Google and Amazon having issues with face detection. We'll show face detection, but all of this analysis, all the things we do like face detection and everything else happens right on your device. Nothing is sent up to the cloud or indexed by big data or big advertisers. It all runs locally on your computer or your tablet. Is there another one?
Yeah, can you share a little bit more about how Lightroom and Mylio interact together?
I'd like to actually delay that because that's a pretty complex question, but I will say this much, which is we have a plugin so that your Lightroom edits can stay in sync in Mylio. But, if that's Lightroom Classic. But Lightroom Classic is a photo management tool from Adobe that lots of people use. It's a pretty good editor, but we'll talk more about editing later on. Mylio's organization tools are bluntly superior, and we don't charge you for cloud storage. And we allow you to work with all the hard drives you have, and we connect everything together into one network. So for me, I would have to pay Adobe almost $120 a month if I wanted to keep my photo library in their service. And with Mylio, it's $10 a month. So that's because we have flat rate pricing, no matter how large your library, and connect things together. But if you really like Lightroom or any other photo editor, I'll show you a little bit later how easy it is that we can connect with all of those so you can seamlessly hand off and use them. So we view it as any other photo tool, which is, hey, if you like it, we like it. And with one click, you can hand off your photos for editing. And we even give you a plugin so anything you do in Lightroom automatically stays in sync with us. Anything else before we go forward?
Just one question about storage. And if you for your photo library, how much hard storage do you need on, say, an iPad or a laptop if it's not cloud-based?
Yep. I'm about to do that. So I'll show you guys that and definitively and break it down for you by numbers in just 1 second. Let me go forward on that one because that's a good one. Okay. So we connect all those devices together so they can see each other. But what we don't do is fill them all up and run out of space. So you get control on each device to say exactly how much space you want to use. And we give you control. Now, later in March, we're releasing an update that's going to make this next dialog box even easier to use with a bunch of controls. But here's my laptop, right? And you can see that I set this one up. If I look at its sync policy under device quality, I've got it set up to auto optimized, which means go ahead and keep the files on there, the optimized versions that I want to edit with. Those are small files that are about 10 to 20 times smaller than the original, but still contain raw photo data or are high enough quality to make a print, share to social media, or do anything with. So we make an optimized file that's about 10 to 20 times smaller than the original, but it's still enough to make a 5x7 print, more than enough quality to share, email, or do anything with. But on demand, we can grab the full quality file off your hard drive at home. Or if you like the cloud or put things in the cloud, we can pull it off the cloud when you need it. But what we don't do is automatically fill up your device. So you'll notice that I have a lot of computers because as a member of the team, I try to break Mylio on a routine basis. But I've got 9 computers hooked up to Mylio. Normal people wouldn't have 9. But you might have a phone or 2 and a tablet. So here's my iPad. And so my iPad is set up to have all of my smart previews. I said, you know what? I want every one of those optimized images on there. And if I wanted other full quality images, I can just grab them and choose them. So we give you that control. And so you can take any one of these and just choose an option that's called tap to sync. And so you can go in and you see tap to sync there. I'm going to turn it on. And that means, like, let's say I wanted to have all these scanned photos on my device at the full quality. I just switch that to originals. And then it's going to pull down those 2.2 gigabytes to this machine. Now you're like, wait, does that mean it took it off of my other machines? Did it move that data around? No, it's just talking to my hard drive at home. And you can see right here that they're transferring. So it's literally just switching those files right to this computer. But it didn't take them out of my vault. So on your main computer or on a place where you've already got them, you're going to leave a hard drive attached called a vault. And that has a copy of everything at full quality. So when I'm out taking pictures on my iPhone, they transfer there. If I have my Android tablet with me or phone, it's going to take those pictures and automatically back them up to that hard drive. Now, some of you have probably heard of the concept of 3-2-1 backup. We suggest you set up 2 vaults. And if you have the option of a job or a house or another family member, you can even put one of those hard drives at another physical location for safety. Or you can use the cloud if you want. Like I have, some space here with Amazon Drive, although Amazon's getting rid of that service here really soon. But you can use other things like Google or other places, and you get granular control. So if you don't want to pay a fortune in cloud storage, you could say only back up these pictures for these family members, or only my 5-star photos get backed up to the cloud. And you have specific control. And if you choose to use the cloud, it's your cloud that you pay directly for. So many people already have cloud storage. We let you use it, but we encrypt the photos so nobody can steal them or index them. And I just want to show one thing on that, because a lot of people don't realize why that is so important. And I want to just take a second to reinforce the importance of that. And so what happens here is that lots of people just put all their pictures up to the internet. And they go, it's fine. Nobody really cares about my stuff. And, I don't need to worry about it. Well, here's the thing. I had previously used Amazon Photos, and then I went into the Amazon Photos app and I started searching, and I realized that they've indexed how many hats I wear. And in fact, they can see what type of hats I wear when I'm camping. They know and tag sandals. So if you've ever wondered, how do they know that my kids like to wear Keens? Well, they know who your kids are because you told them. They count how many sandals they have. They look at the recent ones, and when you log in to go shopping, they make shopping recommendations based on your photo library. So I hear people all the time go, wow, Siri or Facebook are listening to me. No, they're not. You upload your pictures to the cloud and they know pretty much everything about you. And that's why you get all those annoying ads and why you're so targeted, because you have voluntarily handed over all that information to people by putting it on the cloud. We don't do that. So that's a big thing for us. So I point this out because in your photo library, and even if you're using something like Apple Photos, you can try this. If you type in the search word in the field password, all of these photos had the word password in it. I didn't tag it password. We've got screenshots here of passwords. We've got a letter of sensitive information. We've got the photo, which I, by the way, have changed this password because I know I was going to show you this one, but this is the back of the router of my computer at home because I couldn't see it clearly. So I took the cell phone and I took a picture because I needed to see the default passcode so I could reset it. Do I really want everyone else on the internet to be able to find my passcode? Screenshots, photos of things, all of this. And you're like, wait, where's the word password? Oh yeah, computers know how to edit photos and brighten them up, and it could see that too. So computers can read is all I got to tell you. Now, fortunately, so can Mylio. So what's really cool is you could use that same technology for good, not evil, right? So you can go in and you can actually start to do a search and find things by texting into the search field there. Let me just go ahead and share my screen real quick. And so I can click on the search field and search for a word like the word cat. And it's going to go through and find things. Now, it can find things that I tagged cat, where you add a keyword. And I'm sure a lot of you have been learning all about how useful keywords are. By the way, I know this is a big thing for APPO members. I can confirm that we are working on hierarchical keywords for delivery this year. We don't have hierarchical keywords right now. We do have keywords, but that's where you have like a taxonomy and an importable list. We know you love that. Many of you do, at least, and we're adding it. We're also adding AI smart tags because a computer these days can tell the difference between a cat and a dog, but not just a cat. It can actually identify the exact breed of tiger or leopard and give you that info and make it searchable. So we'll be adding that here really soon. But we can also read text. So my son was a huge fan of the Cat in the Hat. And so I can find these great pictures from when he was a kid. And, now he's a freshman in college, a first-year student. But I can go back and relive some of these memories here that are just adorable because I can go searching for things. I remember he loved the Cat in the Hat when he was little, and I can go find that. And all of that sort of stuff is searchable and discoverable. You could capture birthday cards and other things and put them into your Mylio Photos library. And all of that is searchable on the word text. So in the future, when I go and search for eagle, I'm not just going to find photos of eagles I tag. I'm going to find, the kids that I worked with for years that graduated and made it to Eagle Scout. I'm going to find my son and daughter at a ceremony. I'm going to see the statue that I was given for being Scoutmaster and working with these kids this whole time and, traveling their journey for 12 years. I'm going to find the old newspaper article that my mom took a picture of and sent me of me getting my Eagle Scout. And all of these things, it's reading the text here on the thing. It's able to read the text and find those things. Here, it's reading this poster, my certificate on the wall behind it, right? It read all of that information and found it so it can help me auto-organize folders. And we're going to improve our search and find tools, but it's amazing. And again, it can read text. So it read this medal I received. It read my daughter's name on the wall for her service project. It was able to find all of that stuff. It read the plaque on her project. So it's awesome that I can actually see this and go back and relive family memories just searching for a word. And you know what? I hate keywording. I intend to do it all the time. I've got it on my phone. We're going to make it easier. But at the end of the day, do I go to the gym? Do I work out? Do I finally, take the dog for a walk because I haven't in a while? I know I should keyword. I've helped work on programs like Aperture and iPhoto and Lightroom and lots of others through the years, and I just don't always get around to it. So being able to search for text is incredible because I can get exactly what I want and find things and relive these family memories, which is awesome. And I'm so proud of her for what she did and what my son did on this cool thing. So it's awesome to be able to find things like that. So let's go back a little bit here. And what I wanted you to realize there is that, whether you're doing it for good or bad, it's kind of awesome that you can find and locate pictures using text like that. So let me give you a couple more pieces of info. So there was a question about storage. So on your smartphone, you can fit 1 terabyte of photos down to 1 gigabyte. What this means is that, I can take 4,000 photos and it will occupy about 10 gigabytes of space on my smartphone. Tops. That's nothing. Okay. On my tablet or laptop, I can fit 1 terabyte of hard drive space down to about 40 gigabytes. Those are editable. Everything you do will sync back with the original. They're at a resolution to make that print or social media or share full screen or put on a television. You can edit them and do things with them. They're great, but they're about 10 to 20 times smaller than the original because we use, I'll use 2 big words, proprietary compression technology. I think that was 3 words, but all it means is that we have a way of shrinking them down so you can fit more on your devices. Our founder of the company likes to call them magic miniatures. Our manual calls them a smart preview. But the thing is they are kind of magical, and it means that you can fit a bunch of photos on your devices easily and have all your pictures right at hand with it. So, I could take out my smartphone and have everything I need with me. But on your computer, you have the full quality originals and all your devices can see and talk to each other as long as you have them turned on. And if you don't, well, then they can't talk to each other. But as soon as they get turned back on, they synchronize and they talk to each other. And so Mylio provides with its service a seamless way for all your devices to talk and connect. And you don't have to be an IT person. You don't have to know about firewalls. You don't have to have an IT manager. You just log in on each device in the app, and then they can find each other. And that's part of the magic of Mylio, because that's one of the things we work really hard on. I'll take a couple of questions, and then we can walk through a few more of the benefits, if that's okay. If there's anything you want to cover.
Isabel, you got some more lined up?
Major new that's being answered already, but one that is, can you tell one vault not to sync so that it is a true backup?
Sure. So that's an interesting question, meaning, okay, I don't want this vault to reflect the changes of other things. So there's 2 ways you could do that today. One way is you can synchronize everything and have it consolidated, and then use a simple utility to clone the vault, and then it will do version control. There's a lot of utilities out there that do that. You also can unplug a vault, put it in a firebox, put it in a safety vault, and have it there. Now, what you're asking for is, can Mylio have a true backup where it puts the data and then it is in a special format independent of the operating system? That's something we're looking at, and we haven't done yet. And that's getting into a space of very technically nerdy, the difference between backup versus protection versus multi-copy, etc. We right now do a 3-2-1 backup approach, but we are keeping devices in sync, which is normally a good thing. But I will say that all of Mylio's changes are non-destructive. So when we're editing photos, we are modifying the XMP sidecar file, or if it's certain file types, we are also giving you the ability to write the XMP information with the IPTC information, I should say, which is things like the name, the copyright, the tags, the geolocation. You can write those into files like JPEGs and TIFFs or PDF files, but you have to put them next to the file if you're using things like raw files. But we write them in a way that every other app can see them, and we make it virtually impossible for you to apply a destructive edit to your photo. So you can't accidentally down resolution it or take a color photo and make it black and white and never get it back. So we do provide a level of protection just with how we work with photos as well. Okay. All right. I see, how does it work with recognition of pets? So real quickly, face detection is for human faces right now, but we are about to roll out some AI smart tags, and I was watching it nail dog breeds and primates and fish types and bird types. So you'll be able to then do a sort on a very specific dog type. And then, of course, you could do a search based on date range. So I imagine that, like my father has a Labradoodle. He knows how long he's had his dog, Nikki. And if he searched for Labradoodle between those years, he's not going to have a lot of other Labradoodles except his dog. And then he can combine that. Show me pictures of him plus a Labradoodle. And I'm going to find all sorts of pictures of my dad with his dog, which I sometimes think is further up in the will than I am. But that's okay. He sees the dog more than me. But joking aside, we can actually see those. And we are working on this because many people on our team have fur babies and really do love their pets as much. And we are actually working on some face detection technology for pets and some other cool things you'll be able to do. But we're already rolling out that object recognition and scene detection stuff. That'll be coming out later this spring. So we're super excited for that update. Now, you create your Mylio Photos account. We have all this information on our getting started page. You log in on your devices. It's pretty simple. Okay. So it's free to create an account. We have a 5,000 photo plan that's also free. So you could try out our service that'll let you sync 2 devices together and a hard drive to really get a lay of the land. But it's pretty simple. You install the software. If you have a computer, start on the computer. But we also have mobile apps, and those work great too. And we'll connect everything together. Now, don't worry too much about everything else, but I do suggest that if you have a big hard drive where you could put all your pictures, that works really well. So a lot of people, when they want to organize their photos, don't have any one device that has enough space to hold everything. So they've got a laptop and a hard drive and a desktop and a phone or a couple of phones in the household and maybe a tablet or two. And they realize that no one place can hold everything. That's why we suggest you get a vault. And all a vault is a big hard drive. And you can use any brand you want. We have some special partnerships with Seagate and Crucial that let us do a few extra cool things with those brands, but you do you. I use other brands as well. It's totally fine. And you add as many vaults as you want. They could be hard drives or internal drives or disk arrays or anything else. And then what happens is it will consolidate a copy of the original automatically. So when I'm traveling and import on my laptop, as soon as I'm open up the laptop at the hotel, it puts the pictures on that device. If I'm out with my phone and I take a picture, it's automatically in my vault and it's there. That's how simple we make it. And so on Mylio, on your desktop or any of your devices, we have an inbox. And so I could be browsing through WhatsApp and see a great picture, share to Mylio. I could see a picture on Facebook that my mom posts that she scanned in of her and her sister, share to Mylio. And now it's in my Mylio library. It's that simple. And it's not just on the phone. It's literally copied on all of my devices in an accessible way. And with the vault, it's backed up there at original quality. So we connect your devices so they could see your whole photo library, but we don't fill up your devices instantly. So, we only put the preview quality on each device, but that full quality is a click away and pretty simple. All right, let me give you a couple of cool things that we can do. So with Mylio Photos, you can add pictures from a variety of places. So when you click the import button, you can copy things from drives. You can link to the existing folders. So if you've already got a hard drive, you just link to it. So we have the ability for you to use any hard drive. And if you're using those pictures with other programs, no problem. We don't move them. We don't rename them. We don't change them. You just say that's where they are. We also let you grab things from Facebook, Instagram, Google Photos, and Flickr. And it's really that simple. You can connect to Facebook, for example. It'll log you in and then bring in everything with all the organization. So if you've been thinking about, wow, through the years, we put things up on Facebook, it can grab all of that. So for example, let me just go to folders here really quick. And look, I've got everything here that I've captured. So in this case, I'm going to go to my Mylio library folder, and there's Facebook. But it's not just Facebook. It's every album I ever posted, organized in folders for me. Every image I've shared, and whenever I want to, I can connect again, and it will pull it back down. And so you can reclaim things that you've posted to the internet through the years, from Flickr, Facebook, Instagram, and get all that stuff back to your devices without having to go one by one trying to find it and download it, which is cool. So here's that great trip to Tokyo, where I got to go to the Tokyo Robot Show, which is a really crazy version of dinner theater and robots and superheroes and battles and craziness, if you ever make it out that way. And, here's that family trip when the kids were young to Disney, 2 pictures that I wanted to save from that. Here's a family vacation where the extended family got together, and I found some of those pictures that we had posted right from the Facebook app, and I got them back. So now I have them organized, ready to reuse. That time my son got to run around the bases at National Park, things that my daughter got to do through the years, and some of the funny things and signs we came across, all that stuff together in one place, which is cool. All right. So we kind of covered adding photos. We let you connect everything together. It's really easy. We talked about education and support. Remember, you have all sorts of great resources to learn Mylio photos, and we make it very simple. A hands-on learning class, support forum. If you want, we even offer a personalized setup service, and you can schedule a session for a one-on-one coaching session to help get you through the setup process if you have questions. We asked about cleaning up libraries, like how do you get rid of bad photos? We have reject flags. So it's super simple to mark photos that you want to delete later and then hide them. So you mark them as rejects and they're hidden from your photo library, but they're not actually deleted on disk until you say clean up rejected photos. So that way you can have kind of a deciding time. You could clean up things and then get rid of it and hide them, which is cool. We have a tool called Quick Review, which I love. And I'm biased because I made it. I do love it because I could sit there on my phone or tablet and joking aside, and some of you will get this joke and some of you will kind of get this joke. It's Tinder for your photos. So you can sit there on your phone and look at a folder or an album, and you swipe to the left to leave the photo behind, or to the right because it's the right photo that you want to keep. And it will mark them as pics or rejects and clean up your camera roll. So you just go through and swipe, or you can drag up and down to assign star ratings. So you can drag or just use swipe gestures and mark the photos you don't want. And it works in quick review mode, or it works in regular mode. You have a choice, and you can just browse through. And so sitting there on your phone or a tablet, or you can do this on a computer too, just not with a cool thumb gesture, because if you walked up to your computer screen and did this all day long, not much would happen. But on your phone or tablet, it's really easy to sit there one-handed with a cup of coffee, or stuck in the grocery line, sitting on a conference call waiting for it to start, catch up on your photo organization. And you can go through and do this. It's what we call casual organization. And it just makes it really easy to get things organized. And you can do that right there on your device. You can apply stars or flags by just dragging. And so it makes it really simple. We also offer tools to clean up and reclaim disk space. So first off, one of the things I love about Mylio Photos is easy organization. So an activity I did the other day was I went through and grabbed all the memory cards that were lying around in the drawers and in the card wallet, and all the hard drives and thumb drives and devices that were just laying around in drawers. And you know what? In an afternoon, I just plugged each one in and imported into Mylio Photos. And on import, it scanned for duplicates and wouldn't bring them in. So it would not bring in pictures I already had. Didn't matter what folder they were in or what device they came from. And it also has a cleanup tool where it can search and get rid of any of those duplicates for you to free up disk space, which is great. But if it detects that you have the picture and one of them has metadata and one doesn't, or maybe you have people tags on this one and other information on this one, it merges all of your organization together and keeps it, which is cool. So we have photo dedupe, and that scans your hard drive and can find true duplicates. It's extremely fast, and you're able to then free up disk space. And we also have photo declutter, and photo declutter lets you say, show me pictures from the same camera captured within, say, 5 seconds of each other or 30 seconds of each other, and same camera and even same aspect ratio. And then when you sat there taking 20 pictures trying to get the cat to do something cute, or you've got 2 kids and one's smiling and one's not, and you want to just find the perfect one, you could then actually clump those together and review them and get rid of all of the bad photos very easily, which is nice and fun and quick. So it just lets you screen through and clean up those extra pictures you don't need. Plus, Mylio runs in the background on your computers, so it's syncing and backing up automatically. Once you've set it up, it just works. On mobile devices, it's a little trickier. You have to leave the app running, but that's not actually our choice. That's how Apple and Android want you to do it. They don't want a bunch of stuff happening in the background. So you just plug your phone or tablet in if you have to do a big sync, and Mylio will keep running until it's done with that sync, and then it'll go to sleep. So it's really easy if you need to sync a big tablet or device. Couple more cool things with the organization tools. You do have that universal photo library, so you have everything in one place, which is cool. We talked about the ability to grab and back up your social media files, which is super helpful. And here's something that I'm really proud of that we're going to expand. It's called safe sharing. So when you go to share a picture back to the internet, we give you the ability to remove all of the information that can be used for personal identity theft. So you can remove information that puts your kids at risk or shares details you don't want. Because do you really want people to know that you go work out every day at 3 o'clock, or that your kids play soccer 4 days a week and here's the exact GPS location of where they play soccer, right? And the exact time? So we can strip all that information out so that when you post to the internet, it's anonymous. And so you can, of course, share with friends and family, but you're not giving everybody all the personal information embedded in your files. So that's something really important, and we're going to improve that feature as we go forward. But we really want people to be aware of their and control their privacy online. So it's really cool. And we already talked about the cloud aspect there and the privacy. So I'll skip through this part. But we talked about that, you should be aware. Now, last thing I'll say is Mylio makes it easy to edit however you want. So we give you a suite of tools that are pretty much like Lightrooms. You've got your tone, color, exposure. They're like Apple Photos or really any other parametric image editor. We have a vignette tool. We have presets. It's great. But one of the other things that I love is, let's say you have a photo tool that you really like. No problem. Photo edit in. And you can see every single photo editing tool you already have on your computer. And Mylio will just hand the picture off, and then you close and save it, and it updates in Mylio. It's that simple. And the same thing works on a mobile device. So you just have the ability to say, hey, go ahead and edit that picture. Choose the application where you want to edit it. And you can even take multiple pictures. Photo, open with. Pick the tool you want to edit with. If they aren't on your computer, it'll even download the pictures at full quality if you want them. And then you can hand it off to another tool. It'll make the edits. You can do everything you want. And then when you're all done, you'll just click a button and it will send them back to your Mylio library and back up all those edits to your devices. We are a hub for your photos. And by the way, you can copy and paste pictures. You can copy and paste pictures from Mylio into Slack, into PowerPoint, into an email, without ever having to do that nonsense of exporting a bunch of stuff to your desktop. So we try really hard to make it simple. And we talked earlier about scanned photos. We also put all the tools in you need to really fix your scanned photos. So if you were dealing with scans, let me show you a couple things really quick. I'll go to my wedding. So let's just reset this picture. So if you've ever brought in a scanned photo, maybe you scanned a negative and it looked like this. Well, we give you all the tools you need to make that look correct. You can go up to our color section here and just choose invert. And you're like, okay, it's closer, but still underwater. Auto color. Our auto color looks at each color channel independently and perfectly balances them. That was a 2-click fix. I know some of you are familiar with other tools that do that and make it harder. Let me try to randomly click with an eyedropper somewhere, hunting for a white point. We make that simple. So that auto color works on all sorts of types of images. So if the colors are a little bit off, and not just negatives, you can use that auto color button to automatically get the right brightness and get things exactly where you want. Or if you're a tweaker, which is okay, you can totally go in and manually adjust all of those things, recovering highlights and shadows. Like, look at how I brought that white dress back so it wasn't blown out. So you get great flexibility. And these are all scans. And so you can set the information, modify, crop, do whatever you need. Okay, so pretty flexible. I want to respect your time, so I'm just going to skip through a few things. You can edit on mobile. We make that easy. And we make it easy to share. So when you tap the share button on your computer or your mobile devices, you see every other app that the photo can go to. So that means you can drop it into a mail, a messenger, an AirDrop, anywhere else. You can share back to Mylio photos if you needed to from other applications. You can save it to a cloud service or hand it off to any application you use. Photo applications, social media applications. We are a hub for all of your pictures. And here's something else that's cool. Photo Explorer. So your pictures have metadata. Earlier, I kind of made that metadata sound scary, right? Like, do you really want those bad people knowing where your kids are? I'm not trying to scare you. Metadata is awesome when it's your metadata and you're in control. Metadata is not awesome when people use it to advertise to you. But we have a cool feature called Photo Explorer. So if your picture has metadata, like a location, you click on this and you can do things. In the future, we're going to expand this for other types of metadata, like contact information. So you can make a phone call or email a person. But now you can click on a picture and look up information. You choose to see it on the web. And when you do that, you decide which web browser search tool you like. We support 5 of them. You're going to get detailed information. And then you can do things like, oh, hey, this is that visit to Whistler. Yeah, that's where I stayed. Cool. Oh, wait, let me go ahead and make a reservation. Oh, let me get driving directions there. Wait, where did I take that picture? What restaurant was I at that was awesome with friends? Which escape room did I take my kids to? So you can go ahead and connect all of that. And any picture that has metadata, you can do a web search on the picture's information and then use it to get driving directions, make a reservation, check the opening hours of that museum, and just really stay in touch. All right. I have thrown a lot at you. I'm always guilty of that. But remember, Mylio Photos has extensive information to make things easier. But the bottom line is this: with Mylio Photos, you always have your photos on all of your devices. So all of your pictures are accessible from any one of your devices that you're signed in on. It does not need the internet to do that. So you can work on an airplane. Later today, I'm going to be on an airplane and I've got a bunch of pictures to organize. I can work without the internet. And as soon as I get the internet, my devices sync. You won't lose photos or video. So when you take a picture or you import on any one of your devices, it's going to copy the original files to your backup vaults and keep them safe. And with our great search tools, you can find your favorite photos by person, date, tags, keywords. And later this spring, AI intelligence, so it can find and sort out things like the blurry photos, or other cool things to make it easier to find your best stuff. So we're really excited that we're going to be combining those two things together. And some are like, I don't like AI. You don't have to use it. And it doesn't do anything in the cloud. It's all done on your devices. Plus, we make it easy to edit your photos. If you want to use our tools or anyone else's, we still keep it all in sync. So you edit a picture on your phone, it's updated on your computer. You move something, it's there. Mylio makes it so simple. So if you need to move pictures around, you can select them and just say, oh, you know what? I want to actually move this. And when you do choose to move a folder or move something around, we do all the hard work for you. Look, auto enhance, share, it's all right there. But watch, move to folder. Oh, wait, where do I want that? Oh, well, let me look for wedding. Oh, there it is. That's the folder. I want to move that to that location. Or wait, no, I actually want to put it here. Megan and Richard's wedding. And look, now I'm in my folder tree and I'm ready to start moving things around. And when I click a button, those pictures are moved. Not in some theoretical library somewhere or on somebody's cloud. They're moved on my hard drive because I checked. This is the photo organizers event and you guys like to organize. So do I. I like the ability to actually control and move things around on my drives and keep my folder structures clean and know exactly where my stuff is. And if we had that burning house moment or anything else, I just have to grab one hard drive and I've got all my precious photos backed up to one place that I can control. So I hope that that made sense. Again, throw in any questions you have. We'll stay for a few minutes to tackle them. And as we mentioned, this was recorded, so you can go back and watch it. And I'll leave up that resource slide there in case you want to check things out. I hope that that makes a lot of sense. But any questions you want to tackle? And Kathy, thank you so much for having us too. I really appreciate you giving us such a great group of people to talk to, and I hope that this is helpful for folks.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll come back to a few more questions. Just so you all know, we are keeping the chat. We'll download that and we will be sending you an email with the recording. And that way there, you'll be able to, if you want to go back through the chat to find some of those answers, because your team has done a great job at answering quite a few questions. Isabel,
we try to be helpful.
Are there some questions there that we should go back to that you saw?
Yeah, I saw Christine saying, I still don't see how you fit 100,000 photos, even compressed on an iPhone, 450,000 photos compressed on an iPad. We shrink them to a 20th of the size. And then when you need it, we go and pull down the full quality file just when you need it. And then if you need to free up space, we intelligently free up space without deleting or touching the originals. Now, Christine, I understand that that sounds like voodoo because nobody else on the planet does that. And before I worked for Mylio, I didn't know that was possible. So when I went on any trip, I was carrying 3 or 4 portable hard drives with me all the time. No more. So totally changes your life to have everything like that. It is hard to wrap your head around because it doesn't sound possible, but we've been doing it now for about 4 years, and it's pretty amazing.
All right, and I just for a moment here, popping up a slide here for with the photo managers. One thing is, so the photo managers are the professional photo organizers. If you need help getting this done, you can definitely hire a pro by going to thephotomanagers.com. And our Mylio is working closely with many of the photo organizers are learning Mylio as well. They'll be at our conference, so that's an opportunity if you want somebody else to help you in this process. And we also have, I know Isabel dropped that in the chat, we do have a really active, engaged private Facebook community called the Photo Organizing Hub, where people ask lots of questions, and maybe many of you are already in that hub. Maybe that's how you know about this webinar, but it's a no sales environment. So we really keep an eye on making sure that it's just informational only. So you're absolutely able to access that. And I think Isabel's pointing that in there as well. So I just put these up quickly, but I'll stop that share and go back to your screen. This has been amazing. I know we will be doing more of these, right, Richard? So I think for those of you here, it's probably something that you have to keep. I learned something, so I stopped listening because I started your quick review. So I found myself got lost pretty quickly, and
yeah.
I'm like, wow, I didn't realize you could do that.
I think Angela's going to do some of our future events. Angela's been answering a whole bunch of helpful questions in the chat. She's our chief product evangelist. She's also a photographer herself, and her mom and her are both into family history. But Angela's the author of our user manual or product manual. And so she's super knowledgeable and in-depth and also super nice. And she's in our community answering questions too. But you saw how quickly she answered your questions here. So we try really hard to help. And as Kathy said, it's great too that, you know, the photo organizers do have folks who can help if you are struggling with a approach on how to think about organizing your library. They have a great network of people that can help you kind of wrap your head around how to approach this problem. And then our software can really support that workflow. And nobody organizes their photo library in a weekend, but it's way easier to do when you can do it from any of your devices, from sitting on the couch, from stuck in a line waiting for something. I took the kids to Universal Studios over the break, and there was a lot of lines. You know what? There was a lot of tagging, keywording, and photo cleanup too, because I love that Harry Potter ride, but 70-minute wait time in line was pretty darn boring. And I got a whole bunch of work done that I needed to get done organizing family photos. And it was awesome.
Yeah. And Millie just had a great note. Somebody asked earlier, how long have you been, or has Mylio been around? I think I said 2013 is when I remember, but it might have been 2012, Theo realized. But Millie, who's a professional photo organizer, says she's been using Mylio for years and appreciates the improvement and looking forward to the continued changes. And I'd say that's true. We've over the years, Mylio has continued to improve, and you're out in a big way with all these with all these updates that we're excited to share to this community. So somebody said, this is easy enough for the average home mover. Yes, I think so. But like anything, there's a learning curve to learning new technology.
Yeah. We invented this technology a little more than a decade ago, and devices didn't quite catch up to it. About 4 years ago, we really perfected it and got everything working. And then last year, we released the new product of Mylio Photos, which really focused on making this technology that everyone could use. And we'll be releasing an update later this spring, and then a big update this summer that adds tons of usability features. We're really excited about those, with a big emphasis on search and discovery and sharing. And it's just getting easier and easier to use. But we think you guys are going to really like it, and we hope you give it a try.
All right. Well, thanks, Richard. Enjoy your trip back and working on your photos on your iPad on your flight back to the East Coast. Thank you, everybody, again for joining us, and we look forward to bringing you more educational webinars like this about different topics. And you'll be getting an email again with the recording and also the chat as well. So have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.